Hello everyone, this is Greg from Mystery Honey. Today it is absolutely hammering it down and I don't think I'll get a chance to do any inspections. Now it's too late in the year to do any inspections anyway, so it doesn't really bother me. What I need to do is heft all my colonies and see which ones need feeding. I did start feeding last week and what I'll need to do is make sure that the bees have taken that down and then top it up if they need it or not. There's no point in overfeeding bees. They'll take as much food as you give them. So you can just keep giving them infinite amounts of food and they'll just keep taking it down and eating it and eating it and eating it. There's no point in doing that. What you need to do is heft them and make sure that they're at a right weight and then you take the food off. The reason for this is because if you're using 2-to-1 solution, the bees need to be able to fan that down and convert that into honey. It is a long and arduous process, and if it starts getting as rainy and wet as it is now, the bees won't be able to do that. So what can end up happening is later on in winter, when the bees are clustered elsewhere, it can start to ferment. And if the bees eat that, then they will get dysentery and will die, sadly. So it's always good to be careful when you're feeding, not to feed them too much. Heft and see what weight is. I've already shown you that before on other videos. And then if you are a bit worried, so say it's like 2 fingers to lift the hive or 3, flop a piece of fondant on it. You can use baker's fondant, you can use Fondabee, you can use all sorts. There's loads of different fondant makes and manufacturers out there, specifically for bees. I'd personally stay clear of candy pollen. That's like a fondant with a bit of pollen put into it. It's like yellow. I'd just stick to fondant if I were you. Just nice and easy. Baker's fondant, that's pure sugar. The reason for that is because you want the bees to not need the toilet at all. As soon as they go into the winter cluster, they don't move until it warms up. So that means that they're holding their legs, holding their bladders all the way through winter for months and months and months and months. If you give them something that isn't just pure sugar that can be burnt off, that will mean that there's more waste accumulating in their guts. And the more that tops up, there is definitely a limit. There's going to be a limit of how much that a bee can store in its guts, and it will need to poo. If you're just giving them pure carbohydrates, they will burn that off throughout the winter, flapping the wings and keeping themselves warm. If you give them candy pollen, especially at the beginning of winter, you'll just be adding pollen that will not be burnt off completely and will just settle in their stomachs. If you want to use candy pollen, I'd suggest using that early spring, just to give them that boost of pollen to help the queen get moving with laying of eggs and stuff like that. And that's the best thing I can suggest, really. But for now, just use baker's fondant if they start feeling a bit light. My suggestion is always to use invert-bee or inverted syrup. I'm not affiliated with anyone at all, but I much prefer it now, and that's what I go with from now on. It's nice and easy. You pour it in, the bees take it down, throw it in the cells. They don't need to cap it. It will not ferment, and it stays liquid. It doesn't crystallize or anything like that. It's like a really godsend for the bees. I really like it, and that's what I'm using from now on for winters. It's a little bit more pricey than if you make your own sugar solution, but it's worth it, I think. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go heft some hives, put food in if they're still hefting lightly, and I'm hopefully going to be moving the hives from my production apiary today. It's been weeks coming. I've just not had a chance. I've been so busy, and the rose garden's been built around them. The gardeners haven't been too happy about it. They've been digging in the rain to make sure the bees aren't flying about. Oh god, just a nightmare. So I'm going to move the bees out of the way now. So I'm hopefully going to do that today. So anyway, I'm going to get cracking now. Right, so this one, last week I filled it to a certain line, which was that line there. See where we're at to now. So they actually not touched it. It looks like they haven't actually touched the food. Interesting. Now this can be simply because they don't want to break cluster to come up to get the food. So, they didn't know it was up here. So I'm just going to dribble it a bit more. Another thing you can do to encourage them is to stick a path up here. So get a twig of some sort. Oh, there we are. And just thread it down. If it fits, yeah, it'll fit. All that does is it puts a stick directly into the home, and it'll give them a path up. Because sometimes the bees get a bit confused because the bees get confused because if you think about it, this here is a cone. So if we get you one that's not being used. So if you look at that there's a gap there before the cone starts. So if you've got the entrance here and it's like that, then the bees, unless they sort of find a way to hop across, have to work their way down and work their way back up again. And that space there can sometimes just be a bit too much. So if you stick a stick down, going all the way through, then it means that they've got direct access to that inner cone there where they can get to the food. Now I'm just going to keep an eye on them, just see if they'll come up. Now they have got food accessible here. A bit concerned about that actually. Couldn't see any bees. Right, put my hood up. Let's see what's going on. So I'm going to lift this up and just have a quick gander. Okay, so there's definitely bees there. And they're just supping up what I've put in. Okay, that's fine. I've put that in the wrong place. There we go. Yep, so that sticks in there now. Okay, so there are bees in there. They're just supping up the stuff I've poured in. Hopefully they'll work their way up now. So we'll come back to that next week and hopefully that'll all be gone. To be honest, if they have that, I'd probably say that's all they need food-wise. And they can just put them straight onto fondant as soon as they have that. So plonk this back on. It has been particularly rainy and windy. The rain has stopped for now, so that's good. So yeah, so I want to make sure that they are secured with that. This is hefting heavy already. This doesn't need any food, I don't think. I'll heft it again just to make sure. One finger, no chance. Two finger, no chance. Three, four, just. They've got enough food. They don't need me. Right. On to the next ones. So I've shifted all my nukes to one place. They're all clustered now, so I've shoved them all together to create some more space. So if I'm running out of room when I bring those hives across from the production apiary, I can put them in the gaps in between. So, right, what I need to do now is just do a quick heft. So remember, straight arm, hook your fingers on. 4 fingers can do that. 3 fingers can do that. 2 fingers can do that. 1 finger, no. So these guys need more food. So I want to break that off. Now this is completely empty. So, and it's full of bees as well. So these guys have definitely been chomping down that food. So this is virtually empty, so just leave it like that while I do the other side. Oop. Now there's a problem at this time of year in that the floor here is extremely slippy, so you have to be really careful, guys. Because I've nearly gone head over arse already, so when you're doing your bees, just be very careful. I don't want anyone getting hurt. Right. Put you over here. Wake. There we go. Right, that should feed them for a bit. Let's go on to the next ones. Right, again. Heft again. 4 fingers. Oh, easy. 3 fingers. 2 fingers. No chance with the 1 finger. So these guys still need feeding. I like to get my nukes to about 3 fingers weight for winter. Now my crotch is right in the entrance of the hive in front of me, so I'm very glad I'm wearing a bee suit. Okay, so that's them fed. I reckon that these guys, after they've taken that, will be perfectly fine. Now, how are we doing with you? 1 finger? Okay, 2 finger. Okay, yeah, these guys definitely need feeding. Cool. How are you doing? Oh, these guys are very heavy. Do not need to do anything with them. Let's test these ones. 3. Oh, I can lift them with 1 finger. So that's, they're dangerously low on health. Dangerously low on food. Just gonna have a quick check, make sure they're okay. Oh yeah, it's a big cluster. They're happy. Right, feed. Leave like that, not like that. I'll go and feed the others. Okay. Literally the last imported queen from this year. Let's see how she's doing. 4 fingers, 4 fingers easy, 3 fingers easy, 2 fingers easy. Can't do 1 finger, so these guys need food as well. Let's see how they're clustering. Are you clustering okay? Yeah, they're clustering okay, they just need food. Okay. Right. Oops, fell. Right, that should be enough food for them. Now, the daft buggers have properlised the gap that allows the food to get from this side to that side. There's no food coming through at all. All right, see if I can break it somehow. There we go. Is that coming through now? Right, that's coming through. That's good. Right, okay, so they're getting some food through. Could you imagine? Right, so that's... Right, next. Let's try this one. Heft, 1 finger. Can do that, 2 finger. Yeah, these guys definitely need some food. Now, I got rid of all their food last week when I scraped off all of the burr comb in the roof. There was a lot of food in there, but it wasn't enough for them to survive winter. And if I'd left it like that, then it means that I wouldn't have been able to give them fondant without the risk of killing the queen. So I'm just going to call them back up here because they seem to have left it. There you go, guys. Got some more food. So yeah, this time of year it's well easy, just beekeeping. Just going from hive to hive, popping food in if needs be, and moving on. 1 finger, 2 finger, yeah, these guys need food. I'm not seeing any bees. This cluster's tiny. I'll give them a bit of food, but don't know if these guys are going to survive winter. Might as well keep them going, but yeah. They're all coming out though now, so that's good. I don't know. So now these guys are going to go through winter. I suspect that these guys are probably going to fail through winter. There's not really anything I can do to fix that now, so it's a shame. One, 2, 3, 4. Right, so that's 4 fingers. Actually, that's probably about 3. So 1 finger. I can't do that without using my wrist. I can't do that without using my wrist. These guys, they're set. They're fine for winter. So look at these ones. 1 finger, 2 fingers, 3 fingers. Okay, these are on 3. I can do 4. Probably don't need food, to be honest. These guys feel like they're quite set. I'll give them some fondant later on, but for now I think these guys are done. So yeah, I think that's all right. Right, next. Right, let's heft these and see what they're like. Most of my hives are pretty good at the moment, so let's do 1. No, 2, 3, 4. We can just do 4. I think these guys have feeder on. No, they don't. So these guys are well and truly ready for winter. They are sorted. Do not have to worry about these whatsoever. Maybe put some fondant on them later on, but for now, nothing. Absolutely fine. These guys needed some food. I think you're taking it down. Yeah, so this has been stripped dry. So let's have a quick feel. So 4 fingers. Oh, just 3 fingers. Alright, so I like my hives glued down, so I'm going to give them a little bit more food. Just a little bit, not much more. Where's the food? There we go. And then I'm going to alert them to it. Now, my hope is that the virgin queen that emerged in this colony has been out and managed to get mated. All the drones have now been kicked out. It's that time of year. There's no more drones flying around or anything like that. So these guys have to deal with what they've got. So unfortunately, if the queen hasn't been mated well, I may come back in March and open them up, and they'll have either died or there'll be a load of drone brood and dead bees, or they'll still be kicking, and there'll be lots of worker bees, all healthy and happy because she's been mated properly. So I don't know. This is really an absolute gamble now, and this has been caused by Formic Pro. So this was the only colony out of all of my colonies that had the queen die. All the other ones have been absolutely fine and have come through stronger from it. This colony has had the queen die, and I've had to make a fresh queen, and I don't know where they're at, to be honest. They look strong now, but that's because the old queen that was in there beforehand. We'll see how they come out in spring, I guess. And just because these are the last 2 here, I'm going to heft them. I don't need to heft them. They are going to be very heavy. We've got 3 brood boxes on this one. So 4 fingers. Oh, no chance that is glued down. See if I can do it with 2 hands. Oh, just with 2 hands. Yeah, this colony is solid. Don't have to worry about this one. This is a brood box and 2 supers. See if I can heft this. So 1 finger. No chance. 2 fingers. No. 3. 4. Okay, so I can do it with 4 fingers, but that just means I need to give them some fondant later on. Just checking that they're okay. So the cluster is spanning the whole of the 3 boxes. They're all dead center at the moment, and that's what they do. Bees cluster in a big ball. Sometimes they go really, really tight in a proper spherical shape. When it's the depths of winter and it's very cold and they need to contain all of the heat in one place. But for the most part, bees are very vertical creatures, so they will create like a rugby ball shape, a very elongated rugby ball shape for the whole of the boxes. But yeah. These guys are fine. So that's everyone here at this apiary has been fed and hefted. So yeah, I'm going to go to the other apiaries now and feed them and heft them. So today I'm going to try and move these hives from this apiary to my queen mating apiary. It'll free up this area for the gardeners here to use this space whatever they want to use it for. They've already planted the majority of the rose garden. I can see that they've kind of avoided next to the apiary. I think they must have been getting stung from the digging and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm going to be moving these out of the way to the mating apiary, and we'll see what they make for me to put my bees in for the next season. So when you're moving hives, you want to do it either at night time when all the bees are inside the hive, in winter when all the bees are clustered together, when it's cold, or if it's absolutely hammering it down, which it has stopped now, but it was doing a few seconds ago. You're currently hidden under a shelf that I've created. There's a bit of a roof so my phone doesn't get soaked. So that's the time that you want to move them. You want to move them on a day where the bees are all inside the hive. You don't want to move it and then have bees flying around trying to find the hive, because that's how you get angry bees stinging people, and that's how you make a bad name for yourself. So wait until it's raining or cold and all the bees are inside the hive. Then all you do is close up the entrance, which I'm going to do now. I'm going to put my hood up just in case. So with these Abella ones, it's really easy. Just turn it round, replace that, because there's the entrance. Now it's a completely sealed block. I slide it down upside down, and that is now locked, closed. So that's really good. The next thing you want to do is get some ratchet straps. Now, normal straps like this, they're fine for everyday use against wind, but the issue with them is that they can have a bit of leeway, so they can give in a little bit. And last thing you want to do when you're transporting hives is let the bees have a few mil, 5 mil or something like that, where they can squeeze through. One, it means that bees will accidentally get squished as you're moving about. Secondly, you're going to get bees everywhere. I've made that mistake before. I got stung to bits in my car with bees flying everywhere. That was fun driving down the M6. So make sure that you've ratcheted it. You'll be able to play a tune like that. That's how tight this needs to be. And then you should be able to lift it. So when lifting, always lift with your legs and not with your back. So try and find a stable point. So with these, I have two beehives per stand. What you need to do is try and make it so the beehive is at the center of gravity. So put one leg here, bend with the knees, because your knees are strong. Your back, if it's like mine, is made of cornflakes and will crush itself if you try and lift anything heavy. So lift your knees. So go down with your knees, straddle it, find a good handhold. So this is actually where the better handles are. So with the Abella ones, you've got handles either side. These are a lot shallower than these ones. So these ones are quite deep. So I'm going to bend my knees, make sure everything's, double check that the entrance is blocked, look around, make sure everything's okay, and then we're going to lift with the legs. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that to the car now. Before I go though, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around and number all these hives so I know which hive is which when I take it to the other apiary. So this is number 1. That was 2, and then I'll just go around and do the rest now. Right, so I'm going to take this hive, now that everything's labelled, I'm going to take it to the car. Try and keep it as level as possible, because the last thing you want to do is for the bees to get crushed by something called frame slap. And try not to jolt it either, because the bees are clustered and you don't want to knock them out of that cluster because they could end up dying. So, right, take it to the car. Oh, flipping heck. God's sakes. Oh, that rain's really coming down now. Right, so I want to make sure that the hive is as stable as possible when you move it. Another point is, it's okay at this time of year because It's quite cool. I think it's about 10 degrees at the moment. This hive is going to be quite secure in there, but if you're moving hives in the height of summer or spring, it's good to use something called a travel board or travel screen. What you do is you take the lid off, and it acts like a crown board, but it's got like a very fine mesh over the top, very similar to the stuff that's on your face. And what that does is it allows the bees to ventilate. It means they won't overheat. I've had it a few times where the colonies overheated and died, and it's very important to make sure that that's the case. Anything over a mile or two, or like 20 minutes, half an hour in driving, you want to get one of those travel screens. I'm only heading up the road because all of my apiaries are within a 2-mile radius, so it's all okay. Anyway, it's starting to absolutely hammer it down, so I'm going to put you away now and put the others in. Now, if you're transporting the bees in the same car as you, and not using a trailer or some sort of segmented trailer, it's okay to wear your bee suit. Just be aware that your vision will be limited, so make sure that you're really sure before you do any turns, before you do any maneuvers. You need to make sure that you are safe to do so. It can be very easy to miss a car with just one of these just in the corner of the eye, like, oh, it's fine, and then, yeah, just be very careful. Another thing to do is to make sure that you have it cold in your car. I know it's cold outside, but the cold is your friend right now, so bees can overheat super fast. So what you want to do is turn the car on and put it on the lowest setting as possible, if it's peeing it down like it is right now, or drive with all the windows open to get that fresh air in, blowing at the bees in the back. Right, I'm going to go to the mating apiary now. I've got 2 hives in here. I'll drop them off and I'll come back for the others. There we go. Right, get the other one. Right, so now I've transported the bees to the new home for winter. We need to remember the last thing, which is to open the entrance again. Now, bees may flock out now. Well, maybe not. Because a lot of the jostling from driving and stuff like that can upset the bees. If it's a particularly large cluster, or if you've broken the cluster a bit, then the bees will come out and investigate what's going on once the entrance is opened. So, first thing to do is open it up and leave them to it. Right, I'll do this one as well. Oop. Let's go somewhere. Oh, this one's definitely got a lot of bees coming out. Right, for these ones now, they were very light. I made it that way so I could carry them because noodle arms. What I need to do is I need to feed these guys up, make sure they've got enough food for winter. Now, I did put some fondant on last week, but my guess is that they've either eaten it all or they've started eating it. Yeah, so they've gone through a whole packet in a week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a feeder on, and I'm going to give them some invert bee. But yeah, they've gone through that packet in a week. Wow. So as I said earlier, the fortunate thing with invert bee, this stuff, is that it's pretty much all ready to go. The bees just need to take it down. So that means that even though these guys have very little in the way of stores, they should be able to take this down and fill the comb up with food like super quick. So as I was showing before, I just shove a bit of fabric in there. Cotton's really leaching, so it's good. It just gives the bees somewhere to sit on while they take up the syrup. So all I need to do is lift that up, tap the bees off, and put that in place. I'm going to place, so there's like 10 bees in there. I'm just going to place them near the entrance so they can make their way in. And then I'm going to slide this in place like that. No, just leave you there. Right, so I'm going to put invert bee in there. So these guys need as much food as possible because I was able to lift them quite easily. So I'd probably say they're about 5 kilograms. I need them to be at least 15 for them to survive winter, really. So I've already got one bee coming up having a nosy, so that's good. Right, so I've noticed that a lot of the food is flowing down to this side, which means that this side here is lower than that side. So what I'm going to do is, there's a bit of polystyrene that was in here to block up the hole. I'm going to use that to try and make this a bit more evenly spaced. So just put that under there. It's a little bit better. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Right. There's still lots of food in here, but because it's a syrup, it's not coming out very easily. I'm going to put the cap on, leave this upside down, so all the syrup drips to that corner, and then I'll go get a fresh one. Whew, so yeah, these guys need food. Desperately. Right, there we are. Wow, that rain's really coming down now. Oh, right. Close it up, put the lid on, and I'll dribble a bit down just to make sure the bees know where it is. I'll close it up. Right. Oh, still some wasps about. Mad. Was not expecting to see any wasps at this time of year, but okay. Right, so that now has loads of food in there. These guys should be pretty set until next week at least. I may come midweek just to check and give them a bit more food, because I do need to top these guys up quickly, because winter is fast approaching. Anyway, I want to call that quits now, because it's absolutely hammering it down and don't want my phone to get soaked. So, yeah. Thanks so much for watching my video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. If you like this content and you want to see more like it, got a subscribe button above somewhere there. And if you want to join one of my groups, it's really raining now, just so you know. If you want to join one of my Facebook groups, I've got Nonsensical Beekeeping, which is full of people who like to help each other and have a sense of humour. And I've got Merseyside Beekeepers, if you're around the area, or can affect a Scouse accent. Other than that, I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.